Hello. Welcome to the second ever episode of Lunch Table Talk. My name is Jack Gorman.
And I'm Jensen Janik.
All right.
All right, let's go into this. We had a bit of a problem with the last one. We had to break it into two parts on YouTube. We just wanted to make it clear to everyone that it's recommended to watch both parts. And
The reason we have to do that is
YouTube doesn't let small YouTubers post videos over 15 minutes. So
I'm guessing for like piracy reasons and
Yeah.
like posting old The Office episodes and stuff. So yeah, just make sure to listen to however we're gonna have to break it up depending on how long the episode is. So if there's 3 parts, just make sure. And it's inconvenient, obviously, and we're sorry, but yeah.
and make sure to subscribe so we don't have to break it into two
Yeah,
parts
I think if we get
anymore.
like 100 subscribers, then we can post longer ones. And then next, we have an Instagram. It's called Lunch Table Period Talk. And follow us on Instagram. We give updates on when we post episodes. And then it's just fun. We're gonna be posting more as we get more followers. Just keeping you guys updated on what's going on because we don't want it to just be every other week we post an episode and that's all. We kind of want to be more involved than that.
And feel free to DM us any suggestions. We were thinking about doing a segment about the funniest stories at Maine South of the week. So if you want, just DM us a funny story.
Yeah, and if you want us to say your name, we will. But we can keep it secret, and it's just funny. I feel like Maine South, funny stuff happens. So, DM us, and then we'll ask us in our classes if we have class with you, and we want you guys to be involved in the podcast. All the listeners, not just the podcast club, not just me and Jensen. So, yeah.
All right, so our classic movie for this podcast is Goodfellas. Great movie.
Scorsese.
It's a little bit gory, so don't eat too big of a dinner before you watch this. But it's about the main character's name is Henry Hill. He's an Italian mobster from the 1950s to the 1980s, and it just shows what it was like to live in that kind of life. It was made in 1990, and it got nominated for Best Picture, but it's just overall a very entertaining movie, and it kind of shows the rise and the downfall of somebody in the mob.
Mm-hmm. De Niro was in that.
Yeah, a lot of good actors.
Yeah. And then our artist to listen to for this episode is another country artist. So if you guys don't like country, we'll get out of the country phase. But right now we're sticking with it. It's Luke Combs. He's kind of a newer, famous country singer. He blew up in this last year. He's from North Carolina. He's quite new to the country scene, and he came out with one album. It's called "This One's for You," and then he came out with another one. It's called "This One's for You Too," and so it's kind of a play on words. And so he technically has 2 albums. He doesn't have that many songs out right now, but he's been if you follow him on Instagram or look up YouTube videos of him, he's been performing new songs live. So people are thinking he's gonna drop something soon. He just has a really I don't know, it's a really good voice.
Yeah.
And he's I watched this podcast that he was on and he was talking about how the people he writes with, the people he plays with, he's been playing with them since he was teenager, and since he was in North Carolina, just it's been him and his squad the whole time. And he'll be at Country Thunder this year. I don't know if he's coming to Chicago area.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he is. I don't know if he's released his dates.
Tour dates.
No, he hasn't. I know. I remember looking that up. He hasn't. But so Country Thunder up in Twin Lakes, he'll be there July 20th. But then he'll probably come to Chicago soon. And then next TV show to watch, our suggestion. It's on Netflix, Narcos. It's pretty interesting. If you like action and a little bit of history, it's cool because the drug cartels and crime in Colombia and South America or Central America in general is pretty interesting. It influences America a lot, a lot more than we all think. And not just the fact that drugs are coming into the United States, the fact that deaths are happening. There's this whole chain of stuff happening. And then within that, the first couple seasons are about Pablo Escobar, who is like, I hate to say that he's an interesting man because he's a terrorist, like criminal kind of guy, but he's just like very interesting, and his life is very complex. So it's interesting to watch that.
It kind of shows like how charismatic Pablo Escobar actually was. I mean, you could tell that he could just convince anybody of anything.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's that one scene where they wanted to see if so they bought a drug dog, and like a dog that would smell for drugs, and they tested their cars with this drug dog to see if that when they passed the border it would detect it, and the dog didn't detect it. And Pablo Escobar was like, okay, good, that means we hit it well. But then his his employee was like, oh, it's a bad drug dog, I'm just gonna shoot it. So he shoots the dog, and like the irony in that is that Pablo Escobar like started crying over this dog being dead.
and
But then like next
He's
episode he like is responsible for an airplane crash.
yeah, and
So I thought that was very interesting.
he kind of just he like wooed over like all of Colombia because
He just
all that money he was making,
Yeah.
he would also give it back to like his community.
he would literally go out in the streets and hand
Like,
it to people.
Kids like admired him like somebody in the 90s would have admired Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
And
he was the Michael Jordan of Colombia, of Medellin.
yeah.
So then the first couple seasons, then it gets into the cartels that took over after Escobar died, and the whole storyline is told through DEA agents of the United States and the embassy. So yeah, it's interesting. It's on Netflix, and then they also made a Narcos Mexico, right?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that.
Another funny thing from that is how he would take exotic animals and bring them to his house in Colombia, which is like, I don't even know what the exact amount of like acres is, but it's like a college campus.
Yeah,
And
there are like 50 hippos running
Yeah.
around Colombia right now because he
he-
brought 3.
Yeah, he started a new species in Colombia, which is
That just shows like how influential he was.
yeah.
Like people are like, oh, he's a drug he was like a cartel leader. I'm like, no, like he was in Congress for a while.
Yeah, he ran for
He could have won president if he didn't turn into a terrorist.
Yeah.
But yeah, we won't spoil it for you guys. We're getting into it. It's very interesting. If you can't tell, we can't stop talking about it. Next up, we're going to be talking, we're going to give our main South update. So you want to get started, Jenny?
Yeah. Basketball just had their regional championship against Loyola. They unfortunately lost. But they had a good season, 23-10. That's a decent season for Maine South. And Rosti and Esom are both headed to the state championship 3-point competition. And
Yeah, so good luck to them.
yeah.
With the end of winter sports such as basketball and all the other winter sports, everything is getting started. Boys volleyball is getting started. Tennis is getting started. Johnny Kapusiak. You could find him on the tennis courts this spring. Baseball is getting started. Track, and many other spring sports. Just so it's exciting time for everyone's getting into their new teams.
Indoor track has a conference this Friday. We got Joey Cash running in there.
Oh yeah.
He's insane. If you
I heard he's
watch-
like a really slow runner, but that's just a rumor. Like he doesn't like runs a mile in like 4:30.
maybe. Allegedly.
What is that? How could we forget this? Maine hockey. We are recording right now on the 12th of March, and their state semis are tonight. So what happens here is hockey's kind of complex, and like the way they go about games, they have like league playoffs and then they have state playoffs. So right now they're in state semis, one and done. If they win tonight, they go to state
United
Center. If they lose, they're done. So that is what's going on. It's in Bentonville at 6:40. Shout out Barisi, Jack Barisi, who's here with us right now, and then also Nick Rennell and all the other guys on that team. They're playing Gunbard, so
You could catch us there with body paint.
I will be wearing number 46 in honor of Jack Barisi on my stomach with body paint.
Spring Fling, I've heard mixed opinions.
Yeah, we didn't go, so I don't want to like bash on it, but
Yeah, some people said that they had like a lot of fun, and they stayed at the dance the whole time, and it was really fun. And then others thought the DJ was a little bit too over the top. But
I think what's true about every dance and everything along those lines, not just school dances, but like banquets, stuff like that, where like it's very easy for it to be awkward. It's awkward if you make it
Yeah.
awkward. If you like go on the dance floor and just like put your
yourself out there.
tie around your head and like just go out and like dance really hard, then it
Yeah.
will be fun.
yeah,
Like,
you're
if you
gonna have
make
a
it
fun time.
You gotta put yourself out there. DECA, which I'm a part of. No one knows what DECA is. Literally no one. So it's the business club at Maine South, and so what we do is we compete regionally. In different. Me and Jason Foster were partners. Shout out Jason. We compete in marketing management, and so we get a prompt. We look at it for 30 minutes. We create a marketing plan for that prompt. And then we kind of role play to a judge our marketing plan, and he judges us. So that's basically what we did in regionals. We got third place, so we moved on to state, which was this last weekend. And we didn't do too hot because we weren't really prepared very well. But Charlotte, Natalia, and Michael Korn, they all are going on to nationals in Orlando, which is like really big.
Yeah.
Because like I think there was 1,200 students there at state, and for them to be moving on is really cool. So nice job to them, and they'll be going to Orlando, I think, end of April. Yeah.
So, getting into the main topic here.
Yeah, I think that wraps up Maine South update. So the main topic today is going to be all school-related stuff, and ACT, SAT, block, new schedule for next year, all that kind of stuff that we stress over, we don't like, we argue over, and so we're just going to debate it. We're not going to, don't think we're going to just like explain what the ACT is. Like, we're not going to do that. We're going to debate it.
Yeah.
And as an entity, debate whether it's a good thing and if it gets the job done of what it's supposed to do.
So, to start it off, we're just going to say, like, the ACT is kind of designed just to measure somebody's intelligence, really, to give colleges a look into if this kid can do good on this test, and doesn't measure, like, hard work, doesn't measure, like, anything that you would think that a college would value in a kid. And
well, what it's designed to do is give recruiters and people who look at college applications, it gives them the opportunity to just look at a number and throw away an application. Like, because, for example, Indiana, the Kelly School of Business at IU, if you have anything less than a 30 or a 3.8, you have to have both of those. They just automatically throw your application away.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what makes it easy for them, is they don't have to look at your extracurriculars. They don't have to look at you as a person. You could call it laziness. You can call it rational.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what it tries to accomplish, I don't know if it does accomplish that. Yeah, so I don't know.
So, sorry. First of all, you have to pay for the test. If you don't get it with writing, it's $50, and if you get it with writing, it's $67. And